Online retailer Amazon has confirmed a coming round of mass layoffs, making it the latest tech giant to slash jobs amid slowing global growth. The company announced the cuts after Tuesday. It filed a notice to California regulators that it would scrap jobs in the state. The company is expected to shed as many as 10,000 positions in the coming days, following similar measures by competing companies Meta and Twitter. Amazon employs 1.5 million workers around the world. Now, these tech titans are pointing to overhead costs as a reason for the layoffs, and analysts say a lot of this has to do with lessons learned from the last recession.
A lot of these tech companies spend like 1980s rock stars the last few years. And post-COVID, growth hangover, a recession on the doorstep, you're starting to see costs that need to be cut out of the businesses. I think a lot of, I'll call them moonshot projects or non-strategic areas. Now you're starting to see cuts in those areas. And I think these companies, management teams are being proactive, because if you go back to last recession, I think maybe some were not quick enough to pull the trigger. And here they need to ultimately cut, cuts, because that's really what the street wants to see.
One country which this wave of job cuts is particularly crashing into is India. Twitter cut half of its workforce there. Education technology firms Baidu and Unacademy laid off hundreds of workers, and workers in India are also among those affected by the cuts at Meta. Ironically, many of them are using those very same platforms, including social media, to air their grievances and protest against the unceremonious firings. Let's get more on this from DW correspondent Charu Kartikeyan in Delhi. Charu, how hard are these layoffs hitting the Indian tech sector?
Well, Chris, they are hitting big. According to one report, just this year itself, there have been about 15,000 layoffs in the tech sector. Now, that's a big number, and that's very concerning also, given the fact that unemployment in the country is believed to be at a 40-year high. Now, the thing is that it's mostly tech companies that are involved in these layoffs, and the number of companies on this list keeps on growing. There was Baiju's, there was Unacademy, there's been Facebook, which has seen global layoffs, and they've been its workers in India have also been affected. And now a big round of layoff is about to unroll at Amazon, and that is also likely to affect India, although Amazon has not really announced location-specific layoffs. But yes, it's a big problem, and it's hitting workers in the IT sector really hard.
Now, speaking about these workers, other than airing their grievances in a time of distress, is this pushback that we're seeing by workers showing any impact?
Well, Chris, the impact has been pretty limited so far. We saw one very interesting example in a state that, in the state of Kerala, that is governed by a left party. Now, these workers of this edtech company called Baiju's, they contacted the government, and the government spoke to the company, and the layoffs were averted. The company was about to shut down its offices in Kerala. That was also averted. But apart from this limited impact, we are yet to see any large-scale impact by what these workers are trying to do. That's also because workers are not affiliated to any big unions. Now, trade unions in India, they've been mostly limited to white-collar jobs, to blue-collar jobs, and people holding white-collar jobs have been very reluctant to get into the trade union sphere. It's only now that trade union activity is catching up, but people who are taking recourse, who are taking the help of trade unions to fight against layoffs, the number of those people is still very limited, Chris.
The world economy is in the midst of a downturn, we all know that. What are the chances these skilled workers are going to find new jobs in the sector?
Well, right now things look very shaky, Chris, because one after another companies are increasingly resorting to layoffs. So things are looking pretty gloomy as far as these employees are concerned. Of course, they are making all the efforts that they can. Companies are also promising that they are helping these employees who are part of, quote unquote, the company restructuring to get new jobs. but it's a concerning situation, and it's a dynamic situation as global economy moves closer towards the recession that has already been confirmed by IMF as well as the European Union. Things are likely to get more difficult and uphill from here, Chris.
DW's Charu Kartikeyan in Delhi. Charu, thank you.